today President Biden is surveying the damage left by Hurricane Idalia, and his plan was to meet with Governor DeSantis while he was in Florida.
Do you plan to meet with Governor DeSantis tomorrow?
Yes.
But then he heard the governor of the Sunshine State wouldn't be there after all.
I don't think he's going to be there. We're going to take care of Florida.
Speaking of snubs, Bombshell claims in the upcoming book, The Last Politician, reveals that Vice President Harris's insecurities are a source of frustration for Biden's West Wing. Biden just posted a pic with his VP bragging about their administration and saying, quote, "Our plan is working." But that book describes Harris as, quote, sidelined and sabotaged, as noted by New York Magazine. Now, we're going to get to this book here in just a second, but I want to go back to Florida for just a second because a reporter did ask the president when he was going to visit East Palestine, Ohio, and everyone will remember back in early February, there was a train derailment that left loads of chemicals in the air, in the water, and in the soil. And let's take a listen to what the president had to say.
Well, I haven't had the occasion to go to East Palestine. There's a lot going on here, and I just haven't been able to break. I was thinking whether I'd go to East Palestine this week, but I then was reminded I've got to go literally around the world. I'm going from Washington to India to Vietnam and so it's going to be a while.
So far, the president has had 382 days of vacation so far. That's 40% of his presidency. And Jason, I want to go to you first on this and your thoughts when you heard him say that.
Well, I still hope he goes. I've been to East Palestine since that accident. It's a lovely town. I feel for those people. Nobody was walking around. It was a beautiful, lovely day. They've been devastated from this. I thought President Biden was actually very kind and very thoughtful to Governor DeSantis, praised his efforts and the people of Florida. I thought that was very appropriate. But it is totally unacceptable for the President Biden to be able to say, I haven't had time. How many times have we seen pictures of him on the beach or hanging out in Lake Tahoe or going up to Camp David leisurely? And then who are the puppeteers that are saying, no, you can't go, Mr. President? Because he evidently said, oh, I'd go this week, but I can't because my schedule's so busy. It's been 6 months. Get your butt out there and go visit those people and make sure they have the assets that need to be there. But he hasn't, and he won't. And my guess is it's just shallow words and it'll never happen.
Well, yeah, you got to wonder what the folks in East Palestine are thinking at this point when they're seeing the president make these visits to other places that have been devastated, and they remain devastated. So, okay, let's get to this book here, Tommy, and I'll begin with you. So The Last Politician, the author writes that Harris possessed what one of her colleagues described as rabbit ears. Whenever there was a hint of criticism of her, either in the West Wing or in the press, she seemed instantly aware of it. What are your thoughts on that, that she's paying so close attention to criticism?
Well, I think she's paranoid, but for somebody who's concerned about criticism and concerned about being spoken about, maybe in not such a positive fashion, you'd think that she would actually do something. You know, if people are giving you criticism, especially at your job in such an important role that you have as Vice President of the United States of America, you think instead of saying that, you know, I've been sidelined and sabotaged or having grumblings behind the scenes, you would say, all right, I'm going to prove myself then. And she could be a strong woman, set a strong example. I wouldn't agree probably with everything that she would do, but I would like to see her do something. It's this era of not having to do anything but show up at photo ops. And I got to tell you this, if I see either Kamala Harris, President Biden, or the White House tweet out one more photo op of Kamala and Joe standing next to each other with a cheesy tagline, I think I might be physically sick, because we see it on a daily basis. And always some cheesy line like they're posting, you know, on Instagram for likes and followers. And it bothers me. Do something. 40% of Biden's time spent on vacation. Kamala has gone to the border, maybe once, if you can really even call it that. And they're complaining that they're being criticized unfairly. No, I think that they're not being criticized enough, and there should be more. They deserve that.
Well, and Tom, inside the West Wing and outside, out here in the public, the vice president has received a lot of criticism with her handling, or some would say not handling, of the border. She was asked about it before she went to finally visit about possibly going back in 2021. Let's take a flashback.
Do you have plans to visit the border?
Not today.
Okay, so in the book, the author writes, she let the criticism guide her instead of diligently sticking to the Central America assignment. She seemed to accept the conventional wisdom about it. It was a futile gig, so she let it fall to the side, missing an opportunity to grind her way to a meaningful achievement. Tom.
I think that her problems are really because of her. I don't know if she doesn't take notes, or I don't know if she doesn't have advisors, but if I were her advisor, I would say, Vice President Harris, just go out and read the speech. Don't wing it. She thinks she can wing it. She loves winging it and hanging out with, and she thinks she's like Ellen or Oprah, and she can kind of be like a talk show host, and she can't. So that's okay. We all have our weaknesses. Just go out. You know who couldn't wing it? Vice President Pence. But you know what he would do? He would just show up and read the speech. He was a boring guy, and he kind of embraced his boredom. But I think that she should just try to be vice presidential. Don't try to be cool. Don't talk about the moon. Don't wing it and then go off on the word salads. I think it's easy enough to just kind of read the speech and move on with it. Also, blame goes to Biden, because he should have better relations with his vice president. They don't get along. It doesn't look like, and they have to pretend it.
Well, hard to come back from being called a racist on a debate stage.
Yeah.
I think that is where it began.
Well, I'm just going to read the script.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.